Oh, that stinger plays a little slow. I don't want you to be able to hear desktop audio here. They're spoiling everything. Wait, I don't want to hear desktop audio here. It's in my ears and overriding my brain. Hello, and welcome everyone to. I'm just going to go ahead and call it a new era of Saturday late night streams. What makes it a new era? Well, on sort of a functional level, we are changing the purpose of it. It's not going to be flipping build streams and driving streams. We're just going to use it as like a. We're going to be flipping long game and backlog. So that's one thing. But really, the other main thing is I've created this new theme. Oh, look at all of that! Look, so I was playing with switching onto stream elements because we as a culture are less upset with that company. I am to understand. I don't really follow that much. I'm just going on little things. So let's see here. A new chat box, which is so, and also this was upsetting me. I was just playing with making new like stream overlays because it's a graphic design thing. I should be able to do that pretty well. And but like, hey, now everything over here in the chat, this is all separate. The panels up here, these are all separate. Actually, the info is separate from the bars themselves. They should work. I got multiple backgrounds if we want to be somewhere slightly different. Ooh, hey, how about let's have a little fun here. We're taking a tour of the new digs. How about something like that? Where else do we want to be? Because we could just be somewhere else. Where did I put my keyboard? I had to move my keyboard for a later bit. Let's see here. This is going to be random BG. Sure. Where am I that we can go? Is there anything useful in things that I have created? Anything I can show on stream? Interesting questions, one and all. I kind of like this one. Oh, if I do that, oh, that's all the way on top. Ooh, whoops. But I mean, we could be over here. It doesn't look quite right, but it's still all here. Oh, you want to know what? I can give shout outs in a minute, but I do have. There are some wonderful people out there just creating resources for VTubers and. Listen, this is my face. I'm not a VTuber. Sometimes I'll use an avatar, but that's more out of laziness than any sort of, developing character gimmick as a host. There are people out there just making fantastic resources that you can pick up and use. Many of them are doing it for free, providing free subs, or sometimes they're practicing their own. Sometimes they're doing other. They have their own reasons that I don't necessarily need to know. But, like, what if we wanted to... I changed the wrong one. Uh-oh. I changed the wrong one. What did I just change it to? Static backgrounds all the way at the bottom. What if I wanted to go hang out in an arcade? Because let's be real, I do. Why did it change? Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, like what if we were just hanging out here? That is very busy for the sort of transparency of the assets I made. But like it just listen, we can move around. I wish I had an RTX card and could play around with the like non-green screen needing cutout. And I've considered it. I got beams over my head here because my studio is in my basement. And I say studio, but this is just the big open concept basement. Whoops. But like I could like hang green screen curtains or something like that. But I would miss my Venetian blinds and I would miss the texture zone. I love the zone. It's making a really interesting noise. I don't think the mic is picking that up. I probably have the noise gate too low. Anyway, let me fix my background that I changed the wrong one by accident. that would live in here, in here, in here. And this is the one that we're using. This is the one that we're using. So we go whoop. Okay, now we're back here. This is all not done. I'm kind of just like, I'm getting close. But like the chat box and the background I kind of came up with together, and then I came up with like, yeah, but I really want the cool stars, and so I made this, which had a whole different like background and layout and chat box. And then it's like, I don't know. I mean, the chat box even kind of works with this, but in 3D. What's going on? This all kind of works together, but it's not. I still haven't nailed what I'm going for. I don't know what I'm going for. I don't know how to be like Lost in Space and tech, but also super chill. That's what I'm going. I probably need like a music track to evoke the chillness of the scene. How can you be in space but also have it be a rainy day? That's something I'm going to have to think about another time. But yeah, that's sort of like I'm just, I like to goof around. I'm goofing around for fun here at the beginning and giving you the tour and all of this. But we got other things planned for tonight, ladies and germs. Number one is, now I know I was saying, in the announcement that I'd be playing Art of Rally, and we will be. But first, I have a surprise, and that surprise is... let's see if the things I set up in the moment before the stream work. I got these champed up, slammed down booster packs from the New Year's Eve Jackbox stream that we did where we played Champed Up. So these are decks that are going to be full of cards created by us all together, myself and you lovely audience members. And last couple, I've done pack cracks with these before just because it seems like a goofy thing to do a pack crack with. But this time I decided... I didn't decide. This time I realized that I'm probably not going to take the time out of my schedule to sit down and record a video of these separately. So as part of entering a new era, if I just have gags that I want to do one-off, I'll just tack them on to the start or end of a stream. I'm okay with that. So that's what we're doing here, is we are starting with some Champed Up. Now... See, I always feel like there should be like a process, like, okay, here's the big start. Like, these are just 2 packs. Theoretically, one is from the first game we played, and one is from the second game we played. And they were consecutive games, so the second game pack may contain characters from the first game pack. Unfortunately, I have no idea which pack is which. Find the lady. So I'm just gonna... okay, here's my draw pile. My discard will be down here. Let's crack into it. Really? Shout outs to the Game Crafter for apparently doing the production work for these. They make sturdy packaging. Okay, now then. I believe the way that this works is the ones with the QR code on the back are going to be our coach cards. So they are like a sort of like player level ability. And they're also set between every pack. We got Trina. Discard your hand and then draw 3 cards. So a nice like reset your hand, board wipe kind of thing. All right. First up, Real Fighter. Who we got? Flex it out. Who we got? We've got Fat Godzilla. Yes. If your trainer is not exhausted, hype this champ. Fat Godzilla. He just comes in fat. Oh, yeah. And yet, not the champion of monsters. That is, of course, by Joe. Of course, Joe made Fat Godzilla. Joe is fantastic at making Fat Godzilla. Bad news, it's Shinji's dad. Okay, the thing is, I can't remember Shinji's dad's name anymore. Is it Boruto? That gross man. What is his name? Shinji Ikari, and it's Gendo. It's Gendo. It's Gendo. It's funny if you were gonna do like off-brand Gendo, non-copyrighted Gendo, you would probably do something like Tendo. Instead, I did Shinji's dad, and Shinji is still Shinji. So, this was one that I made. It is not. He is not the champion of Joe's recurring dream. She said recurring dream, not nightmare, and I feel like if Shinji's dad was recurring in your dreams, that would be a nightmare. Next up, as the Super Salad, all players draw a card. The champion of... Oh, boy. Right, you joined us for Jackbox. Horror Avocado. Horror Avocado, and then I don't think Jackbox could take that many letters. It's the Super Salad is the champion of Horror Avocado's weird obsession. Love that. I love how mean, how angry the Super Salad looks. Just the biceps, drawn by Joe. Fantastic. It's my boy. It's Kiryu Kazuma. Which, I should just draw Kiryu every time, no matter what. And then I could have a deck of entire Kiryus. Anyway, yeah, this is one that wow, 0 to recruit. That's powerful. Kiryu is the champion of the underworld. Fantastic. Next up, Chunky Mothra. I drew, and as I recall, this was who I put up against Fat Godzilla, because Chunky Mothra, Fat Godzilla, like that's the problem. Like in, or not the problem, but that's sort of the I love Champed Up, both for this whole card game thing, but also just for, you know, the kind of drawing game it is. But the one problem with it is that, or it's not even a problem, it's just like a mental hurdle, is that if you want to like win at the game, which is a Jackbox game, so if you're trying to win, maybe you're not playing for the right reasons anyway. If you're trying to win in it, then when somebody comes up and it's like, oh, it's Ice Cube Boy, your first thought is like, okay, well, who fights Ice Cube Boy? And you think, oh, it's a fight, it's a conflict, so they must be polar opposites. They must, you know, they must represent opposing theories. That's why they're in conflict. So for Ice Cube Boy, you might go with, Fire Daddy. You might. Apparently I would. Weird. Yeah, I did say Fire Daddy. Hey, good, the Jackbox works. Jackbox? Let me just wet my whistle. Anyway. So you think like, okay, we're fighting, so I'm going to put somebody who's the opposite, and then that seems natural. But like, that's not actually the way that it goes, because it's always like, you know, Ice Cube Boy was made to win at a certain competition, which means you would think that Ice Cube Boy, as he is the winner of that competition. So actually what you want to be doing is you want to be making somebody who is like as similar in every way to Ice Cube Boy, and you just want to like hedge your bets in like, how can we tweak this a little bit? Like, is it the fact that he's cold? Is it the fact that he's, like personification of something? Is it, well, I mean, they're all kind of personified because they're all like wrestlers, people, champions, whatever, in the end of it. But it's like, Fire Daddy probably does not win against Ice Cube Boy if Ice Cube Boy is the one who is made knowing what the fight is. But you see now, like, Ice Cream Sunbae, SUN-BAE, might have a good chance, because then later you find out, oh, you came up with Ice Cube Boy because it is champion of the freezer, right? And so you would not find fire in the freezer, but you would find ice cream in the freezer. So that one's got a fighting chance. And also you put Bae in it, and it's like, oh, you got to stand up for your Bae. All right. Next up, another coach. We got Tony. Hey, do you know Tony? Wow, just defeat a champ and then end your turn. Okay, that's not bad. That's really good if you're in like a tight situation. Next champ. It's the 90s American Godzilla. This one comes to us from Maverick Artist. I really gotta be holding it up to the camera here. Draw a card. Solid green. Not the champion of the underworld. So lost to Kazuma Kiryu. And can you blame him? I would let Kiryu win. He's just so hunky. Of course I would let him win. Next up, Soup. This is by. This one was from Kiro. Kiro drew Soup. Not the champion of Horror Avocado's Weird Obsession. So it was Soup versus Super Salad. And I mean, one is the soup. The other one is the soup or the salad. So, you know, kind of wins. It had more flexibility. Tank top with a tank on it. This one Joe made. And one is the champion of parades. That's an adorable little tank, by the way. I miss Scorched Earth. Scorched Earth is fun. Maybe it was because, you know, I grew up in the age where my school had a computer lab, but before everyone had, you know, an assigned laptop or Chromebook or whatever that they just brought to class. So games, what you play in a computer lab during study hall, that is a very specific genre of games to me. That is an idea I would revisit to do like a tier list or something. Sure. All right, next up. Close enough. Wait. It's a 2D dating sim. That's close enough. That's the champion of being dirty. Is the champion. Close enough. One. This is another champ coming to us from Kiro. Thank you. Next up. Thomas the Tank Engine. This is from Horror Avocado, not just the premise of a fight anymore, but a winner of the champion of the nudist club. I don't want to see Naked Train. I don't. But he won, so somebody wants to. And our third coach is Rosie. All friendly champs are untouchable until the end of your turn. So untouchable basically means they can fight, but they can't be beat. Or I guess if they were to lose, they just don't. So it's not like they always win. It's just they don't lose. An interesting technical distinction. What do you call somebody who practices rhetoric? A rhetoricist? Or just a person, because it's hard not to engage in rhetoric if you have ever communicated. Period. All right, next up. That's the T-shirt cannon tank. I'm guessing somehow not the champion of parades. Wow, so an actual tank did not win. A tank top with a tank on it. That's a good race. But okay, wow, another zero cost. So zero cost is you know, free boots on the ground is always strong in a war. Alrighty, next up, Godzilla. This one's also from. Did Maverick only draw Godzillas? Yeah, Godzilla. Maverick drew the 90s American Godzilla, and also Godzilla. And then we also have Fat Godzilla. This was a Godzilla heavy round. Godzilla is the champion of Joe's recurring dream. So beat Shinji's dad. I love it. So you could get a team out here. You know, if we're playing, you can have like 3 on the field. You can have 3 on the tree. You could have 3 Godzillas out there. And just, that's your lineup. There's a light directly over my desk. And it's great for working. It's terrible for doing precisely what I'm doing right here. I need to get a diffuser or something. So much Godzilla. I love it. I ain't mad there's so much Godzilla. I'm happy there's so much Godzilla. All right, next up. This is John as Sailor Moon, who is the champion of cosplay. This is another Horror Avocado entry. There's something a little horrifying about John's face. I love the Sailor Moon. I love the cosplay. I love the whatever. But it's like a little too much beard, a little not enough pupils. John looks a little bit like a Skeletor. Maybe that's what makes him such an imposing fighter. It really overcomes the strong cheekbones. Yes, very, very much. Next up, the Son of Glory, the champion of breaking hearts. That's a Loki. This is from Maverick Artist. A lot of green in Maverick's entries. Of course, because, the majority of them are Godzilla. But that's like really good for being, very silhouette, very strong in shapes. You can tell exactly what that is for being no lines, just color. That's impressive. Like, that is actually like impressively, that's an impressivistic. No, art. The champion of breaking hearts. Ooh, God, yeah. When is the rest of that show coming out? I know it's impressivism. I can't even say it the real way. You know what? Never mind. All right, last up. It's a stick that looks like an angry snake. I forgot about this one. This one is the champion of courage. I remember this one going up against a real angry snake, and somehow this one won. I was trying to think, like, but so this is exactly what I was going for, right? Like the idea of like, okay, it's you're not trying to create opposites. You're trying to create something that is like similar in every way except for like subtle ways. You're trying to make subtle differences, and sometimes something that is just as powerful as a real snake is something that you think is a real snake. And you know what? In this round, that gimmick paid off. That's one pack down. Good news. We played 2 games. I got 2 packs. So let's get right into the next one. Exacts. I have tools. This is my workstation. Don't cut the cards. That's much better. Okay. Face down again. All right. Rack them up. Second round. Let's do this. Ooh. Mind freak. All right. First coach. It's Bryce. Oh my God. They called him Bryce because he's the drink that has ice in it. It's a Brian drink with ice. That's a Bryce. Okay, great. You know what? Great. I don't think I had Bryce yet. I wonder. So I've gotten like half a dozen of these boosters by now. Each one comes with 3 coaches. And I think there's only like 9 coaches total. So there's a chance I have the full set by now. That's exciting. All right. First up, champion this pack. It's Doom Guy. Not the Doom Guy you might be thinking of. Also, not the champion of Bad Omens. This one comes to us from Joe. And honestly, like, that dude looks cute. I would hang out with that dude. It's a little horn, and he got them little hands. Those are little arms that would just give you a hug. And the wings, you could go for a flight together. I love Doom Guy. Next up. It's just me. This one's just me. No, I mean, it is just me. Not the champion of Forever Alone. This one comes in from Horror Avocado. And that does just seem to be crying over no Tinder matches, which, condolences, first off. Second off, what did that lose to? Because, I mean, that would seem like Forever Alone. Like, that tells a story, but so what did that lose to? Up third, It's Hell Britannia, the champion of high school. This is one of mine. I want to say this might have actually been the first one we did. And I was just like, yeah, no, Hell, I was like, okay, who's the champ of high school? Well, it's Brittany. Okay, what is a wrestler roller derby-esque nickname instead? Oh, it's Hell Britannia. It's Hell Britannia, but it's Hell Brittany. Something like that. I don't know. Don't try to pronounce it. I'm glad other people seem to agree, though. All right, I'm not... I don't know how to pronounce this. This is from Kiro, who is a champion of Kiro Rai in 20 years. So possibly did not even know that they were drawing old themselves, which and then winning. That's Sometimes you just get handed the alley-oop, and only later you find out that it was for a self-burn. And there's a something poetic about that. All right, next up. Come on. We got other stuff to do this stream. Let's do this. That shots the mug. Who is the champion of mug shots? Yeah, okay. You know what? Shots the mug, you win this round. That comes in from Maverick Artist again. Man, a lot of winners from Maverick. This one's Grandpa Kiro, who is not the champion of Kiro in 20 years. This was from Horror Avocado. When you put Kiro in the name, obviously you know you're drawing Kiro, right? So that means Kiro won without knowing that Kiro was drawing Kiro. How... Kiro. Find me hidden all around Metal Gear Solid 3. Say hello to Fortnite skins. I'm so salty that I did not have time to color in the red on the head. So, okay, that's Iron Man. Also, not the champion of disguise. Which, listen, I thought it was strong because, hey, what does it take to look like something else to impersonate somebody else? How about just, something that where you could be anyone. You want to be John Wick, you want to be Master Chief, you want to be a stack of pancakes with a gun. You get you some Fortnite skins. I thought this was strong. Who did it lose out to? Who was the champion of disguise? Well, here is his form unleashed, who is... Oh, you remember his form. Producer Joe says she is very proud of this one because this was hers, and his form unleashed is the champion of being naughty. All right, second coach. That's Raph. Big old giraffe. Love him. Next up is Dib, the champion of conspiracy theories. Of course he is, and of course this was drawn by Joe, and that is just absolutely solid. It's solid. Ooh, and a 0 recruit. I don't think there is anything higher than a 3 recruit. This is a very low numbers game, which I really appreciate about it. But dang. It's the okay. It's not winner because it's only one N. So I guess it's Weiner, who is the champion of Forever Alone. And what is that on the screen? A successful Tinder match? I don't think so. I think it's just a ooh face. It's sort of a close angle bracket :3 kind of face. Yeah, the check mark. And the check mark. But then you wouldn't win Forever. See, this is the one that surprises me because, this is what I'm talking about. Was that in this pack? Yes, it was. So this must have been the oh boy, I'm out of room. this must have been the fight, right? Because not the champion of Forever Alone, the champion of Forever Alone. And so, like, this one probably knew it because like, oh, I didn't get a Tinder match. This one was just like, what's the opposite of what I'm seeing? And went with it. And so I guess forget everything I was saying. That clearly can be a winning strategy. I don't know how that won, though. Sometimes you just can't predict the whim of the people. I especially can't predict the whim of the people. Oh yeah, so just whatever makes you. That's kind of the great part about Jackbox games is sometimes it's just the winner is whoever makes you laugh the most. And like if you check some of the like 2 through 4 era, there are some games where it's like, oh, we're gonna make you vote for the one that you think was like most cunning or the one that's the best edition, and then they figured out like, no, people aren't here to think that hard. People are just here to put in some nonsense that makes them laugh, and then so just lean into what they're already doing. Just say, hey, pick the one that made you laugh hardest. And it's like, fine, great, every game. Good, smart. All right, last coach. Big money, no whammies. It's Corey, because he's like an apple core. And just get 2 cards. Why not? Good, 2 packs, no dupes. Love to see it. That's 6 unique. So I must have 3 more that aren't in here. I will have to go. Well, okay, so there has to be at least as many coaches as as players that game can hold. But that's also a weird one where like there's a lot of drawing time and there's a lot of comparison, so you wouldn't want it to go too big. So yeah, somewhere in the like 8 to 12 range makes sense. If the choice mattered in the regular game, you would want more choices than people who could play, so that way the person who picks last isn't just left over with 1. They still get a choice of at least 2 or 3. Separate thoughts. All right, come on, almost near the end. Check it out. This is Dead George Carlin, who is the champion of dunking. Listen, even dead, George Carlin can probably churn out better burns than whoever you got. Rip George Carlin. You got weird by the end there, but glad to see you got a cameo in New Year's Eve Jackbox. Hey, it's Glorious Purpose. This is also Maverick. Also, who is the champion of the skies? Okay, you know what? Okay, amazing. Maybe that's part of what it was. I must have. No. Ooh, no. You know what? If I recall, I had this one, so I knew Fortnite skins was like disguise, but also probably wouldn't be clear that disguise was the point. And yet, going for MCU and landing on Loki, the mischief god, whose main power is disguise and trickery. That is such like a like that's like that is just luck. That is just also like a recurring trait. I don't know which one of these would have been inputted first, but again, more green from Maverick. You know, some people have a type, and that's absolutely fine. Our differences are to be respected, or something. This is Bean Vegeta, who is not the champion of high school. I mean, yeah, it's got the blue, it's got the hair, but as far as Vegeta goes, this one's kind of sus. That one comes to us from Maverick Artist again. Man, Maverick just all over the place. Good entries. Even the losers are strong entries. Hey, it's the figure at the bottom of my bed, who is the champion of Bad Omens. If I recall, this was the competitor to Doom Guy, which, yeah, this one's a little more creepy. Comes in from Horror Avocado, and yeah, that's, I would not like to see that one around. I like Doom Guy more, but no, as a champion of Bad Omens, this dude is more. Okay, here's the thing though. Like, a bad omen isn't necessarily the bad event. It is just sort of like the inconsequential harbinger of the bad thing that happens. This dude looks like he's going to do a bad thing himself and enjoy it. So I don't know if that fits for bad omens. Also, I just want to vote for Doom Guy because look at him. He's so cute. Okay. Last one. Does anybody remember what we played? Because now we've seen everybody else. This is as jogged as everybody's memory is going to get. I'm thinking Dead George Carlin went to champion of dunking, so maybe if this is not the champion of dunking, which would have been, it would have been, I didn't look at it. I don't know how to do the Jimmy Carson impression. Was it even Carson? Anyway, it would have been like Off-Brand Lewis Black by Maverick Artist.
Oh, that's right.
It's not. It's Strong Moon.
Oh.
It's Strong Moon.
Strong Moon.
I forgot. Strong Moon was the one I was so hoping was going to be in here. The champion of action stars, drawn by Joe. But you know what that means? That means we are missing the action star, Strong Starman. It doesn't put all of them. I had a commenter on one of the pack cracks I did who explained it, and it is like they have to like win with a certain amount of votes or something. So like if there's blowouts, you generally don't get the loser of a blowout.
Oh, okay.
Or something. But they are booster packs, so what would happen if I just bought the same pack again? I don't think it necessarily would be the same cards. I haven't tried.
Oh no.
Actually, you know what? Let me check real quick because we can go to. My keyboard is so far away. If we say Jackbox.tv and then look at our past games, and then we look at Champed Up.
Does it keep them indefinitely?
It keeps them for a long time, definitely. So yeah, if you want like a shirt from a game of TKO we played like 3 years ago, that's probably right there.
Oh shit.
That's
dangerous.
Okay, they were in the first game. I'm learning. Yeah, actually, and no overlap from these. So I'm guessing maybe even if you continue a game and you can recall old characters into the new game, you still draw the same amount of characters. So I'm guessing like this is only for the tag team round. So I'm guessing yeah, it just you would get the same amount, so you wouldn't like lose characters from the new game because you have old ones. Action stars. Yeah, it was Strong Moon versus Buff Star. Can I? Oh boy, how do I? Okay, I should be able to do this. Okay, I need this. I need browser stores. Hey, we like to have fun here. There we go. This is the fight of the century that everybody was looking to taking home in booster pack form. It was Strong Moon versus Buff Star. I know a Strong Moon is better. Good time. That was a good time that night. That was a good time. All right, done with you. So that's it. That is all of the cards from these two packs. Thank you again to everyone who came out for the New Year's Eve stream. That was a fun time. It led to this. This is a fun time. Which, again, by the way, I think this card game is fun. It is simple. It is small numbers. It is like limited number of actions. Like there's still a decent possibility space given all the like combinations of abilities on all of the fighters. But for being a card game that is sort of like high probability, like medium probability space, low like analytic necessity, and And also, you can play a full 2-player game after you buy a single booster pack of 15 cards. And you know what? That part alone is cool. So, highly recommended. Here is the... just for people playing along at home, here are all of the ones I've been collecting already. So if you want some Intern Green Goblin, vintage Randy Savage, I think is very strong still. Yes, I did put these in. I forget what set this was, but I did get these out of a Pokemon Trainer box. I hope I have enough blank ones left at the end here. Here are the coaches that I had. We got we already had Bryce. We already had Trina. But we got Rue and we got Sloan. And is there one more unique one in here? Oh, no? Uh-oh. All right, I'll have to see about that. I do not have enough sleeves for all of these. I'll have to get new sleeves. I'll have to buy more Pokemon cards. That's cool. That's fine. But I got so many of these now. I've got so many of these now. It's great. I'm so happy about it. Let's find somebody in the middle of the deck. This is a sack of money. This was from Pat Bear, from one of the many Jackbox nights that Pat Bear runs, where he played this game. And is the champion of gambling. Yeah, no, that's solid. A great way to be good at gambling is to just have a lot of money to spend. This is great. I'm getting alerts here. I'm gonna give you a hint. If anybody has to go to the bathroom, right now would be a great time. Because I'm gonna sit here and struggle to put these cards away for about 2 minutes and say nothing of particular use. The thing I will say is I did make quick reference guides in card format, so that way I wouldn't need to scan anything to know how to play this game. Just show up. I also made this little deck box out of plastic canvas. It's like a prototype, because the idea was, if this is a good sturdy enough and actually a good protector and doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart at every moment, then you can fill in the rest of this and put any kind of design you want on a deck box. That being said, this is a little, you look at that, I don't think this is really going to hold up in the way that you want it to. And anything that you would add as a support is going to flex it weird. But I was bored and I tried. You prototype it, and that's failure is learning. It was not a failure. I successfully prototyped it and successfully learned, and it wasn't really going to be worth pursuing further than that. That's fine. I could 3D print a deck box. I don't know. I got too many cards. Don't listen to me when I say that. I will always take more cards happily. Okay, I'm gonna put this up next to the camera because that spot is open, because that camera is currently over here that was filming everything. Let me throw us back over here. Oh, okay. Now then, thank you for what's the word? Playing along with me, for enabling me. That's not quite right. Placating me? That's closer. Honestly, just thank you for sticking with me for our little pack crack bonus. Now I can post this up on YouTube in a playlist with the rest, because now there's probably enough to making a playlist out of them worth it. And I can sort of reassemble my desk now that we're not going to be looking at it. How you doing? How y'all doing tonight? I think I'm doing okay. I'm still a little knocked out from the from getting my booster shot and my flu shot yesterday. Which I was feeling fine until I had to sleep for about 6 extra hours. And now I'm feeling okay again. Although it is nice to sort of take tonight easy, and we will end up back at full strength by Monday, Nothing wrong with that. Oh boy. Okay, is this having trouble because it's been looping for a while? That's the other thing I need to do. Now we can change this to Art of Rally. Bip. Good. Okay. Now then. That means it is time for us to look at video games. Let me tell you about a little game called Art of Rally. Whoop. Oh, that's really choking. Okay. Let me see about... breaking news. I've been delivered a cream puff.
I'm sorry to do that while you're streaming, but I was getting one, so I had to give you one.
Yeah, no, my producer takes care of me. Let's see. If we just knock this down a little bit, will my computer stop crying? Lowest. Here's the thing that I love about this game. You knock it down to lowest, and it honestly still looks really good. This is a game that was designed with sort of a low poly, low textures in mind. Which, okay, I do have to take a minute and make a clarification / complaint. Half the time, when people are looking at an indie game, they will look at the art style and go, "Oh, it's very low poly," like something like Untitled Goose Game. The thing is, when people say low poly, usually what makes them say that is a game with that is like untextured or has minimal texturing. So a game where, you know, you might have like a vague human face, but it is all just like skin tone. It is vertex painted, I think is the name for it, where it's like it is all 3D faces are single colored, not like texture mapped. I think, and the thing is, you can have a very high poly game that has that vertex painted look to it. So to just do anything that has, you know, no texture or flat texture, and to see that and say low poly can be inaccurate. You often see them together, low poly and flat textured, but they are not. If we were talking about like symptoms or you know, like medical conditions, we would call them comorbid, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything in terms of art style. Ooh, I placed. Okay, so Art of Rally is a game of driving. And the reason we're playing tonight is because I played a whole bunch of this game when it first came out because it was awesome and it remains awesome. But I kind of, you know, went through the campaign, had my fill, said a bunch of, see, here's what I want to know. If we look at the time attack, and probably this track that I was just doing, Akagi R. But let's go to the tri-wheeler class. Really, maybe they've... there's a lot of people playing this category now. So the tri-wheeler is a little like I don't even know if they still use these, but it was the like traffic cop trike kind of vehicle. And it's the worst, and it's so fun to use it because like it's not fast. It is almost it makes it an endurance. It makes it an endurance task to just finish a lap track using it. What's the one? I think it's the Hapayarova that was in the demo. But here's what I think happened. I think since the time I was playing and doing all of that, they did some sort of like rebalance in the game and like made changes to the physics such that new times were going to be different, and they had to invalidate all the old times. So I guess I lost my places on here. That's fine. Also, I do like to see now. You can see Steam player, GOG player, Xbox player. I saw Epic Store player on one of these. Yeah, Epic Store. So that's actually really cool. I didn't realize that how like there's no live multiplayer in this anyway, which I'll get into why I think that's actually fine for what this game is and the vibe that this game goes for. But nice to see that these leaderboards are like super crossplay. God, could I do that? Mount Takagi, do I start there? No, because so okay. But what they've done is they did the Kenya update, and the Kenya update has a new free roam area, 6 new stages set, in that same environment, biome, location, whatever. 4 cars in Group 4 and Group B. And then those are some fixes, and I guess this is some. And I like this. Apparently, they are going to be adding more locations to this game. That's awesome. Honestly, I didn't expect this to be a game that had like ongoing support, because it seemed very like simple and complete when it was released. So the idea of adding more to it is just like it's extra frosting. It's like, oh, we didn't even need that. It was great as it was. But so let's start with a little free roam. When do we want to go? Let's go. Oh, what time is it now? Wow, we spent almost an hour opening packs. Okay, so we're hitting like 10 o'clock. So we're just going to jump right to night. Let's do this at night. And we need to bring one of the new cars. It was Group 4 and Group B, right? Let's do the Gazelle. What colors we got? Could do it like that. Is that... I actually like the look of this car. A humble little Japanese sedan that won the Kenya Rally 4 times consecutively, a mark only matched by the liftback 10 years later. Its success is attributed to plumbing the bash bar tubing with propane to create a built-in barbecue that was turned on when hitting fauna and flora, so teams didn't have to stop to prepare meals. That's okay. That's goofy. So much about this game is like actually based in like on real histories of rally. Like this is a love letter to real rally, in addition to being like an arcade racer kind of thing. But like if you know about rally stuff, like I don't, only in passing, but like I recognize this car. This was like a real rally car that really had history. And they've called it La Wedge. And I've painted it like the Phantom Cruiser. But this is a car that has, based on a real rally car, it has real history. And then they're just having fun with it. They're just it's great to have like reverence doesn't require seriousness. So you can have real reverence for something and still be a little goofy with it, and I think that's the best thing to do. So you want to use the Gazelle? The hyena? The king of Africa. That is so many lights on that thing. Look at that. It looks like a Burger King cup from the early 90s. Is that just me getting that vibe? Ooh. Okay, now we're talking. Despite not being small nor all-wheel drive, this Japanese model had a really strong advantage. Reliability. It found success in the Côte d'Ivoire and safari rallies where it was crowned the king of Africa. Oh, excuse me. What does the hyena say? Basically, the Group 4 Gazelle with more aggressive looks. It was filled with dried ramen that was cooked at rest stops with hot water from the radiator. Like its fellow Japanese rivals, it had an extra helping of reliability, which made it a threat at the African rallies. Alright, so this is like the year or two later version of the Gazelle. What else? So I should also mention this game has support for custom skins. So I was just messing around and adding. God, that's so many lights across the front. I was just painting cars that I don't even like, for fun, just to practice. I don't even remember what cars I have painted though. Also, I already don't remember what the other new car in here they said was. It could be this one, which looks like it's a modified Porsche. I'm gonna go check real quick because I just want to know because I want to use one of the new ones. Yeah, Gazelle, King of Africa, 559 Hyena. So maybe either the King of Africa or the Hyena is what I'm thinking. Maybe the Hyena. It's got a good color. If it's got a good color, I'll take it. Or we could just go in black. Black's a solid color. Although, actually, that orange. You know what? That's fine. Well, okay. Inline 5-speed rear-wheel drive. This is actually, I think, what I should decide on. Because most of these cars feel really distinct from each other, which is kind of wild. Rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. I do prefer an all-wheel drive. Rear-wheel drive, and rear-wheel drive. So I'll take the all-wheel drive. As much as I actually don't like the really round look of this car. Oh, there we go. In classic zebra stripes. Okay, we're good. I guess if we're taking this, I have to. The 119 was great, but the 559 is the pinnacle. It pioneered new technology such as computer-controlled all-wheel drive, and its creation was expensive and delayed. Rumor has it engineers hooked up Pong to its computer during development, almost making its manufacturer go bankrupt in its pursuit of perfection and high scores. Hooked up Pong to its computer. Okay. We'll take it. So, this is, what do you call it? This is free roam mode. So free roam mode. Most of this game is, it's rally racing. So it's generally time attack, not live races. It's point to point. It's long. It's mixed surfaces. All that sort of thing. And, clearly as a game, its emphasis is on time trials, different leaderboards, different categories, all of that. But then they put in these free roam modes, which I really appreciate, which these are unique maps that are just zones that you can explore. They got stuff to collect. It's just a map. And as far as just a chill way to spend time, here you go. And if we just want to explore Africa, what are my buttons? The game was already running when we started, but I love this. This is as close as you can get to your car. This is not a simulation game. Take into view. Oh yeah. Look, we match. We already match. Fantastic. But yeah, so I guess this mode is kind of it. I do like it when a racing game has like an open world, and even if it never drops you into that open world, all the tracks are sort of laid out realistically around each other. So I'm a little bummed that that is not the case here. This free roam area is completely separate from all the tracks. But I still love that it's here. That's still not really a complaint. Oh, here we go. Also, it's fun because I know I said that like driving streams were over, and like in the terms of just doing like simulated road trips, yeah. This is how I decided we were going to ease into it though, because like no, we're here because this is my backlog. This is the content I haven't seen yet, but this is like a really nice. We're just out here, middle of the night, driving around. It's great. It's great, is what it is. Okay, so that is just a big loop. So we do want to go straight across. And they give you the collectibles to go find, which is just enough to keep you driving around. Do it at your own pace. Use photo mode. The idea of like this is where you can go where once you make your fancy custom liveries for your favorite cars, you would come here to find a nice spot to do a photo shoot session. Ooh, giraffes. Yo, what's up, Sierra? Welcome to Kenya. We got giraffes. Also, apparently this game does have music, but I must have muted it back in when I originally played the demo. And that carried over to the full release, so I've never heard the music in this game, which I find makes it a very, very quiet, like meditative experience. It is very much about like the leaderboard chase and a certain sense of like community and socializing around that. But at the same time, when you're actually playing it, you're just out here. It's you and your car and the road, and it's quiet, and you just have time to think and go fast. And I love it. Yeah. That's why rally isn't actually about going as fast as possible nonstop, because sometimes you need to be on the ground. All right, so that's a full loop of this section. So the easier thing is if we go back the way we just came, make the first right, follow that to the end, turn around at the T, make your first left, finish that, left at the T, first right. And then that'll pretty much finish the map for us. Whoops. Huh? Didn't fall down. Yep. These are the only people you ever see. And they're cubes. That's the only time you hear people. I love this game. I love this game. Let me be clear. I love this game. I don't know if you could tell. Okay, so that's the crossover. I'm completely underwater. Okay. And you could say, just to make sure nothing's hiding over here. All right, and we got to look out for the van. Somewhere on this map is a van. And it's not like a glowing, floating power-up like everything else. It's just like a van parked on the side of the road. I found it. Man, got a couple of letters left. That's the... Huh. Who put that elephant on the roof? Who? How'd he get up there? How did the building not fall down? You'd love to see it. Whose sassy lost elephants are these? What did I say here? Left and then first right, I think. I'm just going to go with that because I think that makes sense for where we are. You know, Kenya. One tape, one photo, 2 letters. They kind of have to be out here, though. Not much map left to explore. They usually don't put stuff, like, far off the roads. Okay, does a gazelle count? Is that in the deer family? Because I think that's as close as we're going to get out here. Deer are more of a foresty genre? If I call a deer a forest dog, do I go to jail? Am I thinking of wolves? Anyway, we got gazelles. And they're beautiful. They are magnificent. Yeah, and then we probably go up here and hit that loop, and that might be it. And hopefully we'll find the R. Oh, I got a new song that I'll never hear. Whoops. That's a painting thing. So for those of you who remember Absolute Drift, same developer and same paint overlay, same paint arch. Drive through the arch, get a random paint job from your car. Listen, I know the R is right there, but I gotta end with a paint job I really like, you know? Oh, give me back the zebra. And you know what? This car has grown on me. I can work with this. And there's the R. This one just gets all the dirt off your paint job. And there we go. We have explored the Kenya free roam map. So that is the chill way to get our feet wet. And now we go try the actual races. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm not even gonna like look at the actual like what do you call it? The leaderboards, because I've never touched these before, so of course I have no idea what to expect. I don't expect to have any chance of actually making it onto leaderboards. We'll just see how it goes. We're gonna stick with it. I'm thinking we'll take this one, we'll take all the tracks going forward, and then we'll take all the tracks going backwards, and we'll try different cars on the way back. And that's our road trip, and that'll call it. That'll pretty thoroughly have checked out the content. No ghosts, just us. I mean, ghosts can come if they want, but... It's fine. Too much. Sorry if I end up going real quiet, but like I said, this game is like set up to be particularly meditative for me, so once I'm in it, I kind of just... Ah! This game does have damage in it. I don't know if it's turned on currently. Is that like a dam or something? Nope, too tight. Yep, nope, yep, nope. It's fine. I think that, like, it adds 5 seconds to your time. Not to mention the time spent flipping around and the time it takes to get back up to speed. So it's okay. We're not out here for time. We're out here for completion. We're out here for completion. Hey, made it above 3,500. All right, man. I forgot how much I like this game. All right, that was 7. No, wait. Okay, that was 6.7 miles. This one's longer. Okay, we do got some short ones, but this is going to be another long one. God. And we're doing them all in the dark going forward? Sure. All right. We in it. We here. This is what we all signed up for by coming here tonight. Oh, look at them. Chilling at the beach. See, I love some of the choices that this game made in terms of, like, I guess it's depiction of rally, maybe, or the way it is. Yeah, it's just like choices in what to keep and what to sort of abstract. Because my understanding is actual rally racing is, you know, that's sort of the rally, you think of the Sega Rally model of, you got somebody real, either excited or monotone, sitting in the passenger seat, reading out notes to you, basically like reading you instructions, because the idea is like you as your race team have basically gone over the course a bunch of times and have figured out like, okay, here is the best way to take this turn. Here's the best way to take this turn. Here is what we need to be careful of over here, and sort of like planning your route, right? And planning how you're going to handle each turn. And part of it is like, yeah, you need somebody there to like, the courses are so long and it's got so many unique turns that it's just like, okay, humans are going to forget this much information without like way more time to memorize and practice than you are given to prepare for the course, I guess. And it's like, good, we're gonna do a track walk, we're gonna figure it out, we're gonna take notes, and then you're just gonna sit there and read me off the note, because like, it's the navigator's seat, but you're not navigating like, all right, take the next left. You're navigating like, okay, the next turn that's coming up, you want to hit it, you want to hit the inside of the turn at 30, and then that's going to lead to another turn where you want to hit the outside at 40. That's, they're reading it in extreme shorthand, but that's generally speaking, that's the principle of why you have somebody yelling at you while you're in a passenger car, because it really is. It's long courses. It's a lot of information to remember, and you get this time to like prepare, and that's just kind of the way that you work together to keep that knowledge on hand. And this game, Sega Rally is like the seminal rally racing arcade game, right? And I'd also call this very, I don't know. You wouldn't have to change much to make this into something that you plug quarters into, right? Like at the movie theater. All right. I can tell you one major thing we would have to change to go play this at the movie theater. But we talk about that enough, I think. But like, this game doesn't have that guy in your ear, and you don't like, you do. Hey, that's pretty far up. I almost broke 2,000. I'm right below Gun Bay and Hans Grouper. Okay. But so like, it's doing this. It's arcadey it's decided to be arcadey in that you kind of just go and you kind of just handle, and it's digital. It's a game. You can replay it as much as you want. It's about that leaderboard chase. So as a single human, you could play these routes enough time to just memorize the entire course and how to attack every corner on the course, sort of optimally. So you don't really need that that co-pilot, but you are sort of learning it through trial and error, and it's like trial by fire, and you are just like sort of going at it and hitting all of these curves and being like, nope, wasn't like that, nope, wasn't like that. Like you're sort of doing your learning and your testing, but you're doing it every time you go out. Your time is being recorded. It is an attempt, and you have infinite attempts, and that's fine, but there is this idea of like, these are live trials in some sense, which always feels weird to me. Like, give me a mode where I go out without the timer, right? And like, even though I know, I don't keep the timer on the screen. Like, you can turn on like speedometer and gear shift and times and all of that, and I just turned all of that off. All I have is that little bar saying how far through the course are we. But like, there's something to me about like, if you are tracking my time and you are going to chart it on the leaderboard later, then that makes me feel like this is a live trial I need to be trying. like, gosh, they could do something like that. Like if they wanted to say like, okay, like here are our all-time leaderboards, but now here are our weekly leaderboards, and if you get like three runs per week, and you can make as many runs as you want where we don't time you, but then you got to say this is an official run, and you clock in and you set your leaderboard there. That would feel a little more realistic in that sense. But like, it didn't want to do that. It didn't want to make this ultra competitive. It is very like arcadey. You're just doing it. It's like sort of minimal in that sense, and that's fine. I appreciate that choice. But so in this weird way, it is a little bit the opposite of Rally, because the way that you're learning all of this is you're not doing these like slow considered track walks along every course. You're kind of just tackling it head on and rolling through it in a way that's kind of like improv, where it's just like the course is going to throw something at you and you just have to yes end and just keep rolling, in a really weird way like that. And I think it's kind of funny, but by only giving you cameras that are like a minimum far distance away from you and only getting further, having like that helicopter view, I feel like that is the in between of like, well, we don't have you're not going to have the co-pilot just telling you the instructions, but we are going to give you this view that is far enough away that you will always be able to see so far ahead. And so you actually have like a surprisingly decent amount of time to see the upcoming turns and make decisions about it as you're going into them, versus you just get more like visual far ahead information compared to what you would have if you were at like traditional car closeness or, God forbid, in cockpit views, Like, yes, that makes a lot of sense for simulation, and there's some simulation. You could play this with manual shifting if you wanted to. It might have a clutch button. At some point, a clutch button is when you start going like, okay, if you have a clutch, then you're a simulation game. If you felt it was important to have a clutch, you're probably going to make something that's in a race, in the sim game area than in the racing area. But so just like, so it like that choice of the camera to use is really interesting to me, because it's saying both like, we are taking a hard stance that this is not a sim game, because we are hard locking you out of what would be the general sim game player option, the cockpit view or the close up view. But at the same time, it's also saying like, it feels like a knowing decision to be like, hey, normally, even being arcadey, you would have this extra piece of information. We're not giving you that, so we're giving you this alternate way to get similar information, info about what's coming up, info about what's coming up after what's coming up, that you like, even just the way that, and this is, if you feel like paying close attention, I know it's late, I don't even feel like paying close attention, but next time you're playing like your favorite driving game, racing game, whatever, something you play from, a helicopter view, chase view, and in this game and in like Mario Kart, compare the two and pay attention to the angle of the car and the angle of the camera, because in a lot of those games, when the car turns, the camera is right behind it, and like the car has like a little slip to the camera, but generally speaking, the camera is following, like sort of pivoting on the car as the car turns. Whereas this game, it kind of does that, but it's taking a lot of choice. It's taking the camera is in a place that isn't just is taking into account more than just where your car is pointing, but is very much taking into account where the road ahead of you is, right? So even if your car is completely sideways, you may be moving sideways and the road ahead of you is there. So like the idea that the camera cares more about the road ahead of you than the angle of your car is the thing that's telling us, yes, the camera is doing the job of giving you information about the road ahead, which is the same thing that the co-pilot would be doing. So they're achieving the same function through completely different means, and that's super interesting to me. And I love that it's like they're doing it, they're not doing it, and yet they're still doing it, but in a way where like you might not even notice that they're still doing it, and that's really cool. I don't know if I would describe that as elegant, but it's just like I really appreciate it, and it's telling. Like that is a design decision that I think reveals a lot to you about the thoughts that went into this game for being something so small, you know? Or not even small, but like subtle. It's actually a major thing, but it's something that not a lot of people would like think to look for and to analyze. You know, it's one of those. You know, if it's working correctly, you don't notice it. Cameras in games are one of those. The only time you really notice a camera is when it's bad. But when it's working really smartly, it's doing its job and it's getting out of your way, and you never think about it because you're past it. Like, you know, in this game, it is giving you information, and you're not thinking about the camera. You're thinking about the information that the camera is giving you, and you know, you're totally like distracted from noticing how good the camera is at doing that job, and how. No, that's in the river. I should see if No Clip did anything about this. I saw maybe like yesterday it went up. Polygon did a video about drifting in games, and Art of Rally was a major topic in that game, because the drifting in this game does feel incredible. And you know, from the makers of Absolute Drift, so you're thinking like, oh yeah, no, a game where they were just like, that was a game where you could not turn on a speedometer, is how much of, you know, that game was about the feel of the drift more than about being a racing game or anything, you know? In fact, it was not a racing game. You were not scored by time. You were scored by like accuracy of path of motion. You know, it was about coming close. It was about hitting targets. It was not at all about time or speed. Okay, occasionally it was about speed, but it was far and away a test of accuracy than of the speed. Oh, that'll help. Honk honk. Man, those gazelles do look pretty though. But not only was Art of Rally a big, like a major topic in that video because of its drifting, but there were interviews with one of the creators of it, and I would love to see a full interview with the devs. So I don't think No Clip has done an Art of Rally vid, but I would totally. I could go be a Patreon, so then I can suggest it. I don't think I'm going to be one of the people who is going to be a recipient of part of that settlement with Navient over student loans. If I was, I would absolutely just go back no clip for a while with extra found money. That would be a great use of that money. Danny O'Dwyer and the whole team at No Clip, they're doing fantastic work if you're interested in like the people and the process behind making games. And they make stuff that is fun to watch as well. They get good info, they ask interesting questions, they present it as like an interesting story. They do a great job. Shout out Danny O'Dwyer. Shout out No Clip. I think I still have the No Clip flag in Rocket League. Represent. Okay. I thought for sure I was going to bonk that. Yeah, it's a bonk. Get out of the road, my guy. There's always like one or two. And they're usually photographers. Or drunks. I don't know. I do like the way that like 99% of the crowd jumps out of the way when you come close. Alright, that wasn't the worst sector. Under 3,000. Top 40. I'm a top 40 classic. Ghost of Robin and Shaggy. Casey Kasem. Ghost of Casey Kasem. Say my name. Challenge. 2022. Oh, God, we're in 2022. All right, 2 more forward tracks, and then we will take the trip back. And that'll be stream length. Listen, I just want to do them all anyway. Just to be able to say I did them and get them off my backlog list. But we do have 3 other cars to try. Oh, whoa. It's fine. I do gotta say that for being so like minimalist in like style and I'm gonna say minimalist in content, but I please understand that I do mean that in terms of like uh not bloating, doing a lot with a little, and not in terms of like, oh, I feel like it's lacking. I don't think it's lacking. I think it is beautiful and wonderful before they came out and added a whole new zone. Um, but they do a great job of creating like, for being a game about uh you know traversing long roads that are kind of windy but otherwise generally pretty nondescript. They do sprinkle like each course with at least one thing that feels kind of like memorable or iconic to that course. Like the opening of this track, uh that big rock wall, that was I can't really think of another track that has something that's like that particularly claustrophobic, and I'm just like, oh, that is a unique feature that stands out. And like there's I know a couple of the ice tracks. One of them I don't think it's ice. I think it's just snow. So that might be Poland. Has a part where there's like a lighthouse on a peninsula, and you go down and around that. That's pretty memorable. There's an ice track where you are like going across the frozen ice, and that's I think there's like even a ramp out there on one section just because it is like so open, and it's very much just like, yeah, no, this just, you have space to do crazy stuff. That felt very memorable. The Japan tracks are just like, they have those very iconic sakura blossom trees, as well as a lot of the winding roads. It really emphasizes sections with the like downhill hairpins. It emphasizes those sort of shaped roads in a way that most of the other tracks might like occasionally have, but not not to the same extent. And like some of them, it is more like just, oh, this area just feels unique because of strong, unique color palettes to the different areas. The mixes of what terrain and features you see. But at the end of the day, it's not like, okay, it's not like this is the track where this is the track with the loop-de-loop, and this is the track that has the giant statue of Daisy Mario on it. Like it doesn't necessarily add anything particularly it doesn't have to add new features to, oh, even this, we're surrounded by water, it's like a natural land bridge. That's stuff like that, using the pieces already extant in creating the sort of like the more in between spaces, the more liminal sections, but just saying like, what if we handcraft this bit to make something that is manages to be unique, even though it is just like a unique combination of the existing pieces. And that takes a certain level of talent that it takes a certain level of restraint to be like, I'm going to solve that. Wow, that was a short section. Cool. The level of restraint to say like, no, I am going to solve this with the pieces at hand, and not oh, that was the last one. Wow, 2.7. Yeah. Okay. All right, that was the last one. So it's time to head back. We're gonna switch our car. Let's try the King of Africa. It's called the King of Africa. It's got a lot of lights. And also the other two are going to be related, so let's give this one a shot first so we can have the related ones back to back with each other. My nose is still messed up. Okay, so it's the same track we were just on, but backwards. God, and this car is rear-wheel drive, so it's going to feel completely different. Oh, yeah. Oh, that rear end wants to slip out immediately. It feels like when you're walking a dog who weighs almost as much as you do, and you just, I was like, all right, we're doing a normal circuit, it's fine. And then suddenly, it gets curious about something over there, and it just starts walking off and pulling you with it. That's what the butt of this car feels like. A curious dog pulling you with it. Oh, but it comes out of a turn nicely. Oh, it does straighten itself out pretty nice. I like this. I like this water on both sides, this land bridge feel. It's unique. We've only seen that once in this whole zone, and maybe I've seen it in other, lands, but hey, if it's other land, other areas, I'm trying so hard not to say biomes. But like, hey, sometimes, like, I think you can get away with that of like reusing certain like iconic layouts if considering how yes, biomes. I should just lean into it. Biomes. It feels wrong to call them biomes because they are Germany and Kenya and Finland and Poland. They are based on real world places, so it's just like those would be countries. To say it's like, yeah, I know they're countries, but I'm going to call them biomes. It's like, all right. It is true, though. It's not like we're, stopping to meet any of the people in these places. It is more, you are more making a selection of, like I said, very strong color palettes. See, it's night. Let's do one more at night. And a little bit the actual like the kind of layouts in roads that you see is a little different depending on the zone, on the biome. See, I like zone because it makes me think of Sonic. So you can do the custom skins with this game, but once you can do custom levels too, I would try to do like a Green Hill Zone, Marble. Is it? I don't think it's Marble Madness. Marble Palace Zone, Casino Night Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, Chemical Brothers Zone, My Chemical Romance Zone. Thank you. These are the jokes. That one's really short, so I'm going to try this car again. This car, it's got a heavy butt, but it's remarkably stable at high speeds, actually. Also, it's got a lot of lights. Gotta love it. Not the mama. Welcome to... It is the 90s, and it is time for clacks. Oh, yeah, look at that. Like butter. Are we eating bagels? Because look at that butter. That's a guardrail that I didn't hit. Oh! That could have been worse. Okay. Ow. Yeah, actually, this thing manjis really well. Um, translator's note. My understanding is manji is so like when you're sliding in a right turn, and then you really quickly have to like flip the car about 90 degrees, so that way you're sliding in a left turn. Um, a manji is that maneuver where the car is you shift the sort of movement of the you shift the momentum of the car such that you very quickly go from stably sliding sideways to stably sliding the other sideways. That's known as a manji. I don't know why. I'm not a part of the scene. Okay. No, we're fine. We're fine. That was pretty clean. Power sliding for a little too long out of the turn, but yeah, I definitely like this car more than the one I used the whole way here. Top 45? Okay. Yeah, car's alright. Alright. So I would simulate time of day by going to sunrise. However, this doesn't have a sunrise, it just has a morning. But it does have a sunset. And since we're doing the reverse versions of the track, a reverse sunset is a sunrise. So I'm saying that's close enough. And so that was the King of Africa. I do really like that car, actually. And from far enough away, I like the look of it, too. It looks a little too... It reminds me of the Fiero we used to have, which was like a little sports car, but it's really long. Like it looks like it's like the size of a Cadillac, but it's a two-door, so it thinks it's like one of those, like, a giant Labrador that thinks it's a lapdog. It looks like one of those. It's just like, yeah, no, I'm a tiny sports compact. Like, no, you're the size of a dining room table. But let's go to Hyena. Yip yip. All yo yens. Well, it's got a weird noise to it. Okay. Yeah, nope. I was about to say, this one feels like it's the most like normal car of this batch so far, but it's very loose. Like the King felt very heavy. Like it felt very like stuck to the track. This one, once you start sliding, it's kind of like an air hockey puck. It was just like, it's like, yeah, no, it has friction, but not as much as you might want. It's got little enough friction to keep things exciting. Yeah, this thing is just all over the road. The other thing that I will say about this game is that I do enjoy both the like low poly but more the flat textured, untextured look of the whole game. But that in combination with this sort of like forced perspective zoomed out camera, everything about this game reminds me of Micro Machines, and I've always freaking loved Micro Machines ever since I was a little kid. So that is a giant plus in my book. They said the money was buried under a giant plus. Okay. Amazing that I went right between those two bushels. Bad because that actually meant I was going to go off a cliff. Amazing again because I managed to not go off the cliff anyway. God, I love this game. We're just out here. We're going sideways. We're chilling. And, you know, right now we're playing this in, like, tour mode, you know, playing this casually. But I will say, playing this, you know, playing it for real, and not that this isn't a real way to play, but playing it, in that way of, yeah, this will be good. Playing it for the leaderboard score chase, playing it, you know, one level, you know, pick your favorite level, play it again and again and again with the same car, same level, and just, you know, train your execution to shave off seconds, to shave off fractions of sections, to try and get, you know, to see if you can push it and get one spot higher on the leaderboard. Yeah. You see, this is what I mean. This car just likes to go. It's just like, no, I'm sorry, I was already going somewhere, goodbye. And then you're off the road. Playing this game for that leaderboard chase, playing it with that, you know, Super Meat Boy mindset, playing it for that, like, it's not quite speed run because, again, you know, being a, like that's the thing about it, right? This is a game that is just simulation enough. Like, it's you know, in so many ways it is absolutely an arcade racer, and it forces you to engage with it like an arcade racer. But, you know, it's no F-Zero. It's no Mario Kart. The idea of, like, this is a game where to get the fastest times, you need to use the brake. And it's not about, like, going as fast as possible at all times and just having the right reaction times. It is about hitting a given turn at the right speed for that turn. And, you know, if you can get the right angle attack, if you can keep the car in the right position to maintain momentum, it is about, like, technique more than it is about just, like, brute force. More speed equals more fun, you know? So in that sense, like, although so much about it is just like, hey, no, we are by choice an arcade racer. We are abstracting certain things, and we are forcing you to play by our rules, by our choices. I feel like you still have to approach it in a lot of ways, like using a lot of the same skills, like about half the skills. Like this falls on a line where it's just like half of the skills of, like, serious driving games you will still need in terms of just like, okay, how do I look at this? How do I approach it? What are the things I need to consider? Especially in terms of, like, hitting a turn correctly, not just cleanly, but correctly. And then everything else from those games you just throw away. But really, that terms of, like, there's not just the most speed, but there is such a thing as the correct speed. Because if you're going too fast, that'll make you slower through other sections. It'll make you slower at enough other sections that having that extra speed in that one turn will actually lower your overall time. That's the thing about it, you know? Like, I'm actually curious now if like a tool-assisted speed run of this game would actually look particularly different than would look different than a live speed run, or just like a live play of it. I like that one blocked off bridge that just goes out nowhere. Just like implying more parts of the world. Yeah, no, this is a road. Just okay. That time I was airborne, and that's why I didn't turn. But this car had no problem going airborne. It just feels so light. Crossing sideways. I don't know if I had a point that I was getting to with that. I just like this game and I like talking about it. And I like spending the entire time I'm enjoying playing it, pitching it as well. All right, time for the Gazelle. Do we take the crazy color or do we take a more rational? We take the crazy color. It's the best color offered. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so this is apparently like the previous year's model of that car, which was a little less advanced. So, like, you can almost hear it in the engine. It's a little rougher. I wonder. Usually, the way the advancement works is that it's like it is a little slower, but it also feels a little heavier. And all things considered, it's still like a little slippier because maybe the downforce wasn't as present. Oh yeah, no, this feels something like I would take to get groceries in, honestly. It's just like, oh, we're super slow now compared to the last car. You're right. Things don't need rhyme and reason. Things having reason brings me comfort. There's a whole thing that I feel has come up in recent times about like, that's why conspiracy theories are so sort of present in culture, is because like you think like, oh, something big and terrible happened, and the idea that like it was just random chance, it was an act of God, it was sort of like just a random event, feels like it must, and anything of that big importance cannot have happened randomly. There must be meaning to it. There must be, it must have been intentional, and that's where you get conspiracy theories of trying to like a mind that can't accept that things happen without rhyme or reason, and they need to like, no, this was so important, it must have had rhyme and reason. It's full iambic pentameter. Also, rhyming is just nice sometimes. It's like fun. Coming up with a rhyme can be a fun game. Oh yeah, let me tell you about Logical Minds. Nobody go read the things that I posted on Twitter this morning. They are probably not healthy for anybody, but I was still feeling sick and just had to get them out of my head so they would leave me alone. Yeah, sometimes approaching things like too logically is definitely more trouble than it's worth. Or trying to force logic often is more trouble than it's worth. I generally find if you gather enough info about a situation, eventually all the pieces click into place and you can understand it. But the question of like, will understanding this actually be a functional improvement compared to the effort that it will take to continue, like possibly just like, like functional effort, but maybe like emotional labor, depending on, the situation you're looking at. Like how much is it going to strain me to, is it going to be enough of a payoff at that point when really it's just like, it won't matter, so let it be. What was I talking? It was something like last year or sooner or longer ago, because what is time? But it was just like, yeah, you know what? I think this is going to be the year of like complaining to each other about video games and movies again, because conflicting opinions on that shit generally doesn't really matter, which means that it would be an argument that has no stakes, which means that you could do it for fun. It is something that like you could do for like the activity and the engagement of it, and like the sort of like mental simulation it could bring. And then you can also just drop it as soon as you're done with it, as soon as you're tired of it, because it doesn't matter. It does not matter if it ever reaches a resolution or not. It's comforting to have things to get worked up about that ultimately don't matter. The things that you don't need to be worked up about. There's something getting casually pissed off, getting mad on Twitter as a hobby. No, actually, when you phrase it like that, I think that is a different unhealthy thing. But I don't know. Maybe I think there's something to it. I don't have the right words or conception of it yet. Or it was like So this morning I was listening to a podcast about Homestuck. My mistake. I know. That's not the issue right now. But they were talking specifically about Dave Strider and about how he seemed like a get into arguments on forums for fun kind of type, and they ended up making references to thing and talking around it into a point where I thought it was like a really interesting way of looking at it, which is, somebody's always going to get mad at you for having fun because there are important things to work at. So, I think you're allowed to have fun. What is it? John Cleese said it. Just because you need to be serious doesn't mean you have to be solemn about it. So, like, as long as you're not being fun at the expense of any responsibilities, you can be fun whenever you want. And I guess I am including, like, moral responsibilities to treat everyone with kindness. If your fun is treating people badly, then, like, yeah, no, you can't. I don't think you can have that fun. But, there's a lot of other funs to be had, so... But they were talking about basically like having trolley forum arguments for fun, specifically citing the argument of Jaws can't be a horror movie because sharks exist in real life and horror movies require made up monsters, or something to that. Not even that last bit of it, but specifically because sharks are real, period. And it's like, that's not a full argument yet. Okay. And like, like, yes, it's a trolley thing. Yes, maybe it could be done to like annoy people, but then they came around on it and it's just like, well, okay, but if you are similarly troll minded, what you are actually engaging in is an improv game. And the rule of the game is come up with an argument that takes as true this absurd thing and just see how long you can last with it, see how many round holes you can fit this square argument into. And that is a form of play. That is a form of like creative play about, sort of like rule bending and definition stretching. And I can absolutely see the fun aspect of that. It is an improv game. It is testing the boundaries of a rule system. There is fun to be had there. The only thing is that that's one of those ones where it's like the game is taking place in a realm where games are not expected. So, people who are not similarly minded and see the the fun gaminess of it, people who like aren't recognizing that and buying into that part of it, just think like, they just perceive it as like, oh, is this a serious argument that's happening? How is this happening? How are you being like this? And it's like, yes, the game is treat this argument seriously, whether or not you actually do believe it seriously. And at that point, it's like, okay, well, now you have people who are not on the same page bouncing off of each other, and that mismatch and fogginess of communication leads to like actual, sort of like mental, emotional stress and conflict and stuff like that. And that's a bummer. Ideally, we could be clear about it, but like the idea of like arguing in bad faith as a creative exercise is like, I'm kind of upset that the malicious part is doing that and trying to pass it off as seriousness. But like, you make that a podcast where the game is argue for these ridiculous arguments. Like if it was just like the worst, like, Oops All Trolls Debate Club, the podcast. That sounds great. I do got to say, and this is just calling this to mind now, there was a debate club in my high school, and I only went to it twice. And I want to say the first time I went just to sort of like play around. The next time I went there was the day that they were having the debate on cannibalism. And I'm just like, okay, that's a goofy argument, or that is a goofy topic to try and make serious arguments about. And that's what really got my attention. She's like, yeah, no, we could casually have these debates about serious arguments, but like, that wasn't fun to me. But showing up for the cannibalism debate day, I'm totally there. And I think that was also the day that they took pictures for the yearbook. So I think I actually appeared in the debate club yearbook photo. I don't even know if that's true. I don't even know if I have that yearbook. A part of me hopes I don't, but I would like to see that specific picture. I don't remember who was in that club, and I might be unhappy to find out who. Maybe this is better. Don't meet your heroes. You can't go home again. Just live in the now. That's why it's called the present. I don't. I think the maliciousness of this is like leading people on and playing your game without letting them know that it's a game. But I think as long as everybody is like clear and aware that it's a game and it is something being done for like the creative fun of it, I think that's rad. I actually had what was it? That was a concept I had written down for a podcast a very long time ago. When I was still doing podcasts, when I had, the friends close enough and unemployed enough around me to do podcasts with, that I was just going to call the Professadrome. The idea being like everyone who comes on it is playing the part of PhD holders, and like giving lectures, but the sort of behind the scenes was you just get the title from a random Wikipedia article and you had to just unprepared talk 5 minutes on that topic. Didn't have to be true. Didn't have to like hold. You just had to like talk coherently for 5 minutes and somehow pretend that it's tied into that subject. And whoever did the better job bullshitting was the winner of the Professadrome, between the two professors, I guess. Was the concept, and like that's basically the same thing. I think it's very much that like, this is an improv game, this is a bullshit arguments game, this is I was always into that idea. I never followed through on it just because nobody else around me at the time thought it was fun to hold bullshit arguments like that the way that I did. This is actually revealing things. There are times when I'm surprised I still have as many friends as I do, because I know some of the things I enjoy, some of the things that I do for fun, other people labor to do, and I apologize to them for that. But man, just realizing what some of those things are, I am surprised as many people stick with me as do. Wow, I am lucky. I am lucky. Thank you to my friends. I am very lucky. Hey, this is gonna be the last track. Let's and it's morning now. We drove all night, and now we're home. It's like a real road trip. Drive all night and then get home just as the sun is coming up. And then the question is, do you like try to take a nap and wake up in the middle of the day and have half a day? Or do you just stay up, write off the whole day because you're not going to be useful because you haven't slept, but then go to bed super early and just start extra ready to go the next day? I think that's kind of my thing. It's like stay awake, but also write it off. Okay, in the daytime when you can see everything, there's more pretty landscape to see during the day. Oh, we're fine? No, we're not fine. Oh, these last two cars have been super squirrely. Super squirrely! Super secret squirrely. No, super secret agent secret squirrely. That's it. I'm trying to go straight! Alright, it's 2022. Y'all, nobody's allowed to go straight. Alright, you know what? Everybody has to take a year being gay, and then if you still want to be straight, you're allowed to go back to it. But you have to walk a mile in the other shoes first. Have to drive a mile off the other cliff first. I don't know if this is a metaphor or just stupid word. I cannot stay on these roads. Okay. No. Okay. No. Almost. Nope. Definitely nope. Like, I'm generally not good at improv games. Because, I'm... Generally because, I'm not linguistically minded. I'm not socially minded. I'm not sort of emotionally minded. I'm empathic in that when people are having emotions, I absorb and sort of... absorb and reflect them. Absorb them like a sponge, reflect them like a mirror. Which is also how I've heard people describe how dogs behave, is that dogs will just sort of pick up on and amplify whatever emotions they sense. So I guess I'm a dog. We all find out sooner or later what animal we are. But I lost my train of thought thinking about personas. Dang it. Oh, but so sort of a lot of improv games, like comedy improv games are about reading a room and picking up on, okay, what is the vibe? What is like a strong thread here? What am I yes ending to? Never mind, what am I yes ending with? Yeah, this is a really nice ride, actually. This is super scenic. We're going over the mountain. It's finally sunlight. We did not see this at all when we started. Yo, this was a good journey. I am super pleased with this drive back now. Wow. Um, but if we're talking about like non-conversational improv games, like I was saying before, like the way that this is kind of turning Rally into improv by just being like, it's like, yeah, no, we'll give you, awareness of this much ahead, but the skill, the action we are asking you to take is actually all reaction. It's just like, yeah, no, respond to everything that comes in front of you. And like a lot of sort of roguelike games are kind of like that too, right? Or maybe if it's the kind of game where you have time to come up with a response and don't have to do it like directly off of the top of your head, I definitely have a better time with those. Wait, I thought those were gazelles before. What are these? Do I not know what animals are? 5 more subs and I'll be able to afford a subscription to Zoo Books and get this settled. That's fun. But yeah, this game rules. Other things rule. Some things are a bummer. C'est la vie. That's life. I don't know. All right. Let's take it home. Because I think I'm starting to lose it. Oh, we are after. Oh, it's later than that. My camera. I have my big production clock here, but when I do top-down segments, like with the card packs earlier, my camera goes just so it blocks it. So I'm getting 11:22. It's a very physical clock. Oh, I'm in the bottom 60%. Oh. Okay, you know what? I can't just finish there. I want to play a little bit more. I could end it there, say thank you. Yeah, that's all Kenya stuff. But I want to do 2 more things. I want to go to. Is it this one? Yeah, I think I want to do this one. I believe this is what I was playing earlier. But we're going to do it in the Group A, which is basically our modern cars. So this is also a chance to show off some of my custom skins. Like I built this Space Invaders skin. Built? Painted? Something. The lift back? I don't remember. I don't think I painted anything for this. The max attack, yes. The max attack is the one that I just straight up put my art on. That drawing is so old, and it's still one of the best drawings I've done. Is this the one? No, somewhere in one of these I probably put it in here, right? One of these I found the car that was a lot like the Geo, and I painted it like the Geo because of course I did. That's what I always do. Did I really put it on like a good car? That doesn't seem right. Is it this one? Yep, that's that one. I went out of my way to take a photo of the actual painty Dixie Cup logo that's on my car and import it into here to make this car match. So let's take this one. We're going to go to Japan. We're just going to do this real quick. Oh, no, I take it back. One more special selection about this. We're not going to do it in the morning. We're going to do it in the rain. I really appreciate, when they split the leaderboards by like car category as well as track, they also split it by weather. Because, what was it, morning and afternoon and sunset all have similar lighting conditions, but rain, night, and fog all have separate leaderboards because these all have severely different visual differences, the severely hampered vision, visual conditions, something like that. But so they account for that, like these tracks, and so this goes what I was saying earlier about like the importance of the camera in being track information, and about just like the importance of track ahead information in this game. That like the fact that lighting and weather effects that affect your vision makes such a difference to this game that they gave them separate leaderboards. Actually, I think rain also puts puddles on the track that can cause moments of hydroplaning. So we'll see how this goes. But, you know, for a drifting game, you got to go to Japan. And then I want to... I got to leave on the... what my heart calls for, which is the worst car on the track from the demo. That's my natural state. Oh boy. Oh yeah, those are puddles. Oh yeah, we're sliding. Yeah, I want to say rain like is fog with puddles, and these puddles will like could hydroplane you, or they could cause it's fine. You could hydroplane, or they could cause like they could slow down one side of your car and pull you. So that's the other reason why this has a separate leaderboard, is because like it is a different track. Different weather conditions cause these tracks to be different tracks in like a remarkable way. Like the fact that this is true just goes to say a lot about the experience of this game, and sort of the things that matter in terms of the gameplay experience, and what will make a difference in what you need to do, and how you will be able to approach it. I'm having such trouble with speaking now. But also, driving into Geo in the rain is absolutely also part of my natural state. Touch. Oh, bad. Oh, bad. Okay. Make it out of there just fine. Can I get back on the road? Maybe. Oh, hey, people are here. Yep, no. I'm over there. That wasn't nearly as terrible as I thought it was going to be. Ooh! Top 600, $5.99. See, not a lot of people prefer the rain track, so you actually might have a little more of a fighting chance by playing on those. Finland, I think, is Happajärvi. And we want to do it in the rain, in the tri-wheeler. Let's do this. This is the only car available. Yes, I do have multiple paint jobs for it. 2 of them were because this is the one I was testing on. So there's actually the wireframes if you just want to know how the UV unwrapped more or less. This is similar, me placing color swatches to be like, okay, this is a door, but is it the left door or the right door? This one just has flames on it because, flames is cool. And this is one with more of my art on it. And my Twitter handle, so that way you can't watch clips without knowing where they came from. I think that's a great way to sign your work. All right, last track, and then we'll call it a night. Oh, yeah, we can call it a night. I'll call it a night. Maybe I'll go play. I think I've said on the last 3 or 4 streams, actually, I'm going to go play Final Fantasy after this, and I haven't yet. Here we go. Oh, this little thing sucks. Also, it only has 3 wheels, so that does also affect the handling. Oh, it doesn't like to go. This is such a bad little vehicle. I love it. Okay. I'm shocked we did not flip over, but it's okay. Okay. It sounds like it's running on a weed whacker engine. It does not drift well because of the 3 wheels. I think the joke is this is basically like a utility vehicle. This is something that you would use to haul firewood up to the house if you lived on a farm or something. Or even if the race team has this, then it's oh, this is what they use to go to and from the stores to buy the parts that they need. It's oh, we need to go pick up the engine. All right, we'll take this to go get it and put it into the real car. Because you wouldn't want to take the racing car. It might not even be street legal. You wouldn't want to take the big truck that carries the car and the parts and the people, because that's really more of a mobile garage than it is actually a vehicle. It's a portable garage. So that's why you get something like this. It's light, it's cheap, it'll get you there. And then one night, you have too many drinks and you make a couple of dares and you find yourself out there using the worst thing you own to try and set some records. Actually, it's funny because, so the joke is, it is not impossible that somebody would try to do this. But it's basically a goof. But then actually there are, 2 or 3 other goof classes. Because there's, yes, if you wanted to race the mobile garage truck, sure, we have 1 or 2 of those in here. You can give it a try. They steer like boulders. It's like if you were trying to drive a cliff face, but sure, you can try. And then the other one is logging truck, which is just yeah, no, never entered a tournament. Just basically appears like a ghost sometimes. You just see, you out there, you're walking the track, and just a truck full of logs flies by you going sideways, and just, it's no, that guy is just working. That is just some guy doing his job. But he's one of the best drift racers we've ever seen. Initial D. check it out sometime. I do need to finish watching Initial D. I watched a bunch of it a long time ago. But I don't think I got past like the first arc or whatever. I know there's like you kind of learn about him and about his life, and then you kind of get into this thing about like, oh, there's, his friend is actually on a drift team and he doesn't seem to, the main dude doesn't seem to care about it. But then as soon as it comes out, it's just like, oh yeah, I know that turn. You do this and you do this, and it's just like, oh, he's actually describing like really advanced techniques. This guy says that he's not a street racer. And then they get into begging like, oh, it is you. You're the legendary racer that people spot sometimes in the middle of the night. Like, hey, will you come race for us? We got a big race coming up and we don't think we can win. And he's like, sure, buy me a beer or buy me a single beer or something first. I don't know. I'm 16. And like basically he convinces him to like at least help with this one midnight battle. And I think that's as far as I got. I assume it happened and something, then he's in for a penny, in for the pound, and he starts like it earns enough like notoriety for his team that he like other teams from around the regions start coming to challenge his team and specifically him. So it's just like, oh, well, now the news is out and people aren't going to leave me alone. So if I want them to leave me alone, I got to keep going. And as far as I know, that's how the rest of the series goes. I don't know. That's I'm guessing at that point. But there you go. That is like one of the worst possible combinations to run. And I got 5th place on the leaderboard out of 6 players, including me. Great. I'm in the top 5. Check it out, Ma. Let's see here. And I am nearly a minute behind the place in front of me. I bet I could cut a minute off. If I wasn't like streaming and recording and I didn't fly off the track, and I bet I could do that. Oh, this is a small enough leaderboard where I'm like, yes, this is the group of lunatics I would like to spend a month with juggling back and forth. So, listen, if I move up this leaderboard, don't worry about it. I'll update on Twitter. We'll find out that way. But speaking of updates, that's not how this works. Weehaw! Yeah, my computer does not like all the things I'm having to do at once right now. Ladies and gentlemen, or judging by the chat history, ladies, thank you for joining me. This was fun. I'm still not quite sure what we're going to do next week. So today was really like feeling in my mind enough to start making decisions. As you can see, I might play with the layout more. I might keep doing just like mess around streams until I get something that I'm happy with, and then we'll get into actual. Especially because like, okay, so this is what I'm doing now, but I don't want to totally leave the like cloudy background screen behind, so I gotta figure out where I'm gonna use that. I already have like a different screen that I use when I'm doing my comic streams, and I'm thinking if I am going to do like long stream games that are going to be like, at least half a dozen sessions each, then I want to make a layout that I can like drop some custom graphics in for each game, and then have it match the game, and then it's thematic and yada yada yada. That would be nice. A lot of yada yada yada, if I can say so myself. But all that being said, that is to deal with another time. I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for hanging out. I had a good time. I hope you did too. And let's see here. This is Saturday. So come back on Wednesday. We'll have more Doom. We did the pack cracks tonight, so that video will hit YouTube at some point. I don't know when. Something just hit YouTube. I put up the last couple of weeks, or the last like week of streams all hit the same day because I had to do some editing on the last Doom stream. No, the previous Doom stream before that, I think. Because I said a gag about I would do this if I did any editing, but I won't because I don't do editing. So now I have to do editing. So I did do the editing. So now it's up there with the editing. There's a whole thing. Hey, go check it out if you need more of my lovely voice in your ears. Is my voice lovely? I don't know. I hear it all the time, so I'm too used to it to have a judgment about it. And then next week, I'm not going to say anything about next Saturday because I think the first long game we're going to play is probably going to be Chrono Trigger. I don't know if we're doing that next week or if I'll do another backlog first because I do have a lot of backlog. Plus, this was also a little bit of tech test. Also, this was still kind of a driving stream. Also, this was still kind of a something. Maybe next week Mini Ninjas and then we'll do Chrono Trigger start. That gave me some time to work up another new overlay with game-specific graphics. I could do like Mander did and like set up like a background and then for each setting I like draw a new piece of art to add to it so the longer we go the fuller the frame gets. That sounds like way too much work to be fun. As soon as it's a project with deadlines, it doesn't sound fun anymore. But it would be cool. You know what? It's fine. I'll figure it out later. I'm going to say, once again, thank you for joining me. It's always lovely when you keep me company. I hope I am good company for you to have me on your screens and in your ears if you're a headphone user. Nah, it didn't make it feel less gross. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And until next time, take care of one another. I'll see you later.